Hey, what up? How are you doing? This is Critical Mind once again to bring another conversation class. Actually, I'm talking to you guys, so let's pretend it is a conversation class because I'm talking straight with you guys in the other side. I would like to tell you a little bit about my story with the games and how the game is saved to my life a little bit. So beforehand, I'd like you guys subscribe to my channel, like this video, and yeah, that's it. I actually came from a very problematically family, like video game used to be escape for me like many other players all over the world. I think they identify themselves a little bit with me in this kind of situation, The first console that I had, it was an Atari. First game that I have ever played in my whole life that I can remember, that was Mr. Postman. Mr. Postman really got me into games. After that, I have seen a couple other games like Adventure for Atari. It is considered one of the first RPG ever. And it is kind of funny because in this game, you find the first Easter egg ever put in a game. I think the guy got a little upset about his recognition in this game and he wasn't supposed to get the money he was supposed to get. And then he decided to secretly put his name in one of the rooms of the game. It is pretty funny. You're gonna see the image on the screen. So that was considered the first Easter egg. So without further ado, long story short, I got myself involved with all kind of video games, with all kind of consoles. I used to go to the arcades with my friends. Passion started to grow even more. I even failed 3 years at school because of these games. I'm quite ashamed of myself about doing it. I used to skip classes every single morning. I didn't like to go to school. I used to go to the arcade place. I had to be the surveillance camera for the place and sneak at the door every single time to see if my mom is not going there to catch myself in a very act. If I would have been caught in a very act, my mom would whoop my ass. My mom was really nervous. I remember I had a generic version for NES that was a Dynavision. I remember my family was getting through a very harsh situation. We didn't have food to put on the table, and I remember one day my mom, she told me, we were passing by in front of a bar and she saw some candies and she said, I wish I could afford these candies because I'm willing it, so that kind of broke my heart because, think about it. Your mom with no money tried to raise 2 kids and a husband. She would like to eat a candy and she didn't have money for that. My first thought back in the day was like, I got an alternative. I'm gonna sell my Dynavision and I'm gonna buy my mom a candy. I was about to do that, but she figured that out and she said, no, please don't do it. I know you love your video game. I know you're getting bad at school. My mom was not bad. She was really comprehensive. She had a very good heart, and this way I didn't sell my Dynavision to buy her candies. It's a very crazy story, but it's true. I went to the owner to talk to him about the candy, if he could sell me for free. I told him the story about my mom, and it was just a bar, and he sold me the candy. I have never paid him because I was broke as fuck, and I didn't have any money at all, but I think he left it behind because for some reason I do believe he had a great heart too. So I remember when I brought the candies to my mom and, did you sell your video game? She got a little frightened with the situation and I said, no, hold on mom, I didn't. I just got these candies from the bar and I will pay him later. After all, my mom ended up paying Jasa because she was a very honest person. So the whole thing started with the games, and I used to go to my cousin's house, friend's house. I used to go to video game rental store every single day to rent the new releases, or try to at least see the guys playing the new releases on the consoles, because back in the day you could pay in an hour, 2 hours or 5 hours to sit there and play any game you want. You stayed there a little bit to see the guys playing the games. Every single time I tried to buy a quarter to play a game like the King of Fighters or whatever, I had to try to figure it out a way to make money, and this way was in my backyard. There was this big lemon tree and I used to climb the tree. I used to go pretty high and I used to grab every single lemon that I could put in a bag and go to the grocery store to sell those lemons to the owner of the grocery store, and she used to buy those lemons from me, and with the money I could afford the quarters. Man, it was crazy, especially when I was playing at the arcades and some punks, they used to steal my quarters and I used to get really pissed off with this kind of situation. But it is life, and things sometimes happen like this. And one of the things that used to bother me the most was that the owner of the main video game rental store in Bragança, Mega Locadora, didn't like me so much because I was broke, didn't have any money at all, and the guy guy. He's a businessman. He was interested about my friend's money because they used to spend a lot of money there, especially my cousin. He used to buy consoles and games constantly there, and you know, he never ever liked me so much until I got a job. I started going there and buying some consoles. He started to change his perspective about myself, and him and his wife, they never liked me so much. I liked to be there because that place used to bring peace to myself, and I was so addicted to games, you know what I'm saying? Until one day when I stepped in a couple of years ago, and the owner, I will not mention his name because I don't care, but he came to talk to me and he said, I have seen your interviews with the Mortal Kombat cast, and I just said, cool, and I just turned my back and I got off the place as a king. I was walking with my head high and thinking like karma is incredible and how the world changed. Many years playing games until my grandpa passed away, so my depression started. I started struggling against depression. I started to feel myself really bad, really down. I used to cry and get into this dark world, and unfortunately he was more than a daddy for me, and the depression started to grow very deeply, and I started to feel the sensation that I have never felt before. For me to relieve this pain a little bit, I used to sit on the couch, turn the lights off and play some games, and the games for me was like my escape, was a world where I could get myself into and forget about the outside problems, you know. But I could understand that this world was identical to alcoholic people, because when you are drinking, you are feeling happy, you're feeling in another planet, you see no problems at all, but when the drink's over, you go to sleep, wake up in the next morning, and your life is still shit because you have to face reality. And that's what I used to feel the next day when I wake up, and that memories from my grandpa used to pop up in my head all the time. A couple of years later, my mom passed away, so the depression started to get really serious, and then my grandma 6 months later passed away as well, and I simply exploded. I didn't have anywhere to go. I learned how to live with the loneliness. I'd like to be alone all the time, and was like really dark times in my life, and video games saved me in so many different ways, because I used to play games 24/7, you know, like I used to finish this game and go into the other game, and the list was really long, and I got through many games. This list used to go on and on and on. So the video games in general was a kind of a tool to try to fix this depression, but it really never did, but kind of helped, you know. Like I used to listen to Eminem all the time as well, and Eminem, I used to say he was my shrink. You don't know shrink? Shrink is psychiatrist. Eminem was my psychiatrist, was my religion, and I used to mix a little bit like Eminem, and I used to mix like video games. And then one of the questions that recently a subscriber made, it was like, if you haven't met video games, what would you be in your life? What would you like to be in your life? I would say a rapper, because or I would take to the Eminem's path, you know, like go to the rap battles in Sao Paulo, I don't know, freestyling, or try to do something like this. But deep inside I knew it, that I didn't have this gift. I was working hard to try to rhyme in words, you know, but I didn't have this gift yet at all. So I decided to take a different direction, that was the games, because I used to feel a little bit more comfortable with the game. I used to understand a lot, read a lot of magazines, and I used to get familiar with the games every single day. So I took that direction, and I think I'm alright now. So video games, they can really help your depression, they can really relieve your stress a little bit, but sometimes you're not completely able to hold into it. So here's a piece of advice to you: never give up on life, never give up on depression. This struggle will take some time, but you're gonna win. Never ever let darkness take control of you, because love and light gonna be always there, and there will be people willing to help you. So accept the people's extra hands, because you're gonna need it. So look for a psychiatrist or look for a psychologist. Is not shame. Shame is if you don't look for them. I did. I'm feeling a little bit better now. This neighborhood here is a bad place for me to stay sometimes, but the pills have been controlling myself a little bit, so I'm feeling a little bit more energetic, and I'm feeling peace with myself, and I have been enjoying the moment, things that I haven't done in years. So if you guys have depression, never ever give up, please. You're strong enough to face this battle and to win this battle and to kick depression's ass. That's my advice for you, okay? Never give up. You guys can count on me. This story was a little sad. I wouldn't like to bring this, but that's how I was feeling today. Maybe because today is Nino's birthday, and I miss him a lot. Nino was my bridge, Nino was my chair, Nino was my best friend, Nino was my advices, and Nino was my light in my dark days. And maybe I'm feeling a little bit more sentimental today. That's the reason I decided to bring to you guys this kind of video. Actually, I recorded like 15 minutes of Final Fantasy VII, but the emulator crashed twice. I used different kind of emulator, so I gave up, and I'll try to find a way to fix it, because I had this problem. Out of a blue, At the same part, the emulator crashed, and I said, okay, so let me think what I can do for you guys. So this is for intermediate and advanced class only. Basic learners, they will catch a couple things that I said, but not everything at all. But as I said in the early classes, try to focus in the context, because it is very, very important. Do not try to translate every single word, because if you miss one, you'll not be able to understand the whole thing, and you're gonna get confused, you're gonna suffer a subconscious block, and that's gonna be a trouble for you in the future. Share this video, and I hope you guys like it. If you have any questions for me, let it down below in the comments, okay, because I'm gonna be answering all the questions that you guys make. Unfortunately, I just have a couple of hundred views on this kind of videos, but I make these videos with passions and love, and for those people who love English just like I do, okay, so these kind of videos are for you guys. Hope you enjoyed, appreciate it, take care, and remember, never ever give up on depression. Struggle against it to the end. I promise you, everything's gonna be alright. It sounds like a cliche, but better days will come. I promise y'all. Thank you. See you in the next episode. Bye. Pera. Só pra terminar, eu vou tentar cantar, eu não sei cantar, mas eu vou tentar meio que fazer como o Eminem faz na música Cleaning Out My Closet, é uma música que eu gosto bastante. Vamos tentar pelo menos o primeiro verso, só pra vocês verem como eu me saio. Geralmente eu não sou rapper, eu não tenho ritmo musical, minha voz é horrível, mas ao longo dos anos o Eminem me ajudou muito com o inglês em si. Como eu costumo falar, o inglês tem 4 níveis, básico, intermediário, avançado, e Eminem, chegou no nível Eminem, você tá foda. Vamos lá, deixa eu tentar. Have you ever been hate or discriminated against? I have. I've been protested, demonstrated against, but picket signs for my wicked rhymes. Look at the times, it keeps the mind of the motherfucking kid is behind. All these commotions, emotions when deposition exploding and tender flowing from parents just blowing off and keep going, not taking not for no one given how long as I'm breathing and kicking ass in the morning, taking names the evening, living a taste in the stars and they can drink in their mouth so they can trick me, but they never figure me out. Look at me now, I bet your problems sick of me now. Ain't your mama gonna make it look so ridiculous now? I'm sorry mama, I never meant to hurt you, I never meant to make you cry, but tonight I'm cleaning out my closet. Mas não, só pra terminar, vai, lose yourself, só comecinho. His palms are sweaty, these weak arms are heavy, there's vomit on his sweat already. Mama's spaghetti, he's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down, the whole crowd goes so loud. He opened his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's joking how, everybody's joking now. The clock's run out, time is up over, blow. Snap back to reality, oh the ghost gravity, oh the ghost gravity, show. Esqueci. Mas é isso aí, galera. Tamo junto. Deixa seu like aí. Crítica, mano. Ficando por aqui. Yo, I'm Rap God. Semana do Malama, semana minha, so what I gotta do to get it to the superhuman, innovative, made it out for personality that you say, bullshit, and I've made it glitchy. I'm devastating more than ever. Demonstrated how to get a motherfucking audience. Feels like levitating, never fading. I know the haters are forever. Falou, galera. Fui.